Mr. Speaker, Madam President, Mr. Chief Justice, honorable members of the House, Senate, councilors, former governors, my fellow citizens. It is humbling to stand before you today. It is so wonderful for me to be able to see so many of my family who are here for this moment, and I especially want to thank my parents for everything that they have done for me. In this chamber, I see friends, colleagues, and dedicated public servants. But what's more, I see the passion, energy, and independence that makes our state different, that drives a common sense approach to governing that has made this the best state in the nation. We are #1 for freedom, we're #1 for opportunity, for taxpayer return on investment, public safety, and child well-being, and we have the lowest tax burden in the nation and the lowest poverty rate in the nation.
As a citizen of Massachusetts, born and raised, who's completely ashamed and embarrassed by the fucking clown show that we have here in Massachusetts with the Maura Healey, Kim Driscoll record of failure, or as I like to call her, Moron Healey and Kim Dumbass, because that's what they are. I want to say congratulations to Kelly Ayotte in running a strong campaign and a successful campaign. And I want to give my gratitude to the people of New Hampshire, including many of my friends in New Hampshire. I want to say congratulations. And I want to say congratulations to Kelly. Kelly won, and she deserved to win. And she's the right one for the job. Now, I know that this topic is not popular amongst some members of my audience, and I know who they are. But it's not about being popular. This video is not about being popular. This channel is not about me trying to be popular, trying to gain more like brownie points on this, that, or the other thing. No, this is about me and my independent thinking and me doing independent things. I look at something and I form an opinion on it. That's how I do things. That's how I operate. I do things based on that and based on my own thoughts and my own opinions and my own research. And what I saw is that Kelly is the right one for the job. Why did she run in New Hampshire, you might ask, for those of you who aren't familiar with stuff going on, at least in New England, because I've got fans all over the country, all over the world. But you're probably wondering, well, see, Maura Healey in Massachusetts, who is an absolute shame and embarrassment, the worst governor in in history. She makes Deval Patrick look competent some way, somehow, because she's that much of a failure, decided to endorse Joyce Craig, who was the then mayor of Manchester, New Hampshire, a Democrat. And that made others, particularly on the Republican side, and I'm sure even some independents too, especially, and it made them think, why is this governor sticking her nose into our business? So that resulted in Kelly, who was a senator, she was an attorney general, she was a prosecutor, she did a lot of big things throughout her life. And now look at her. Now she's governor of a state. In quite honesty, I would take her over Maura Healey any day of the week. And you know what? Despite some of my disagreements I have with her on certain economic issues and obviously on some foreign policy issues, I would take Kelly Ayotte over Maura Healey any day of the week. And to those who leave the comments about Kelly, like they've done on some of my videos, why aren't you that critical of Maura Healey? I wonder. Makes me wonder, huh? Makes me wonder. Well, I'm here to tell you that that's not how I roll. And I'm not just praising Kelly because she's a Republican or because I'm favoring Republicans. Oh, that's not in the slightest. I'm not right-wing in the slightest. I have socially conservative principles. I do, trust me, I do. I'm economically left-wing and I'm socially conservative. I have those principles, and I have some principles and some traditional views that I go by, whether it's on taxes or whether it's on gender or whatever, whether you like it or not. That's how I operate. So Kelly decided, well, you know what? This woman is sticking her nose in our business, And she was, she ran her campaign on, we are one election away from becoming Massachusetts. Now that expression was basically, Joyce Craig is friendly with Maura Healey. So she looks at Maura Healey like she's a model that we should follow. No, we should not follow her. Abso-fucking-lutely not. And this is not even intended to be a video exclusively about Maura Healey. But I'm going to continue to ream her record of failure and the terrible policies that she has brought to us, the people of Massachusetts. I will continue to say it, and I will be an ardent critic of hers and a thorn on her side and her administration of failure as long as she's in there. And I hope that we can get her the hell out of office. It is time that we throw Maura Healey out of office. But with all that being aside, I stand by that position. So why should I sit back and take it? Why should I sit back and take it? And why should I not say something? Like, why should I not say something positive about someone that's running their campaign so that way their state cannot have the same failed policies that Maura Healey has brought to Massachusetts? The term "we are one election away from becoming Massachusetts" is because Joyce Craig would bring those same failed policies to New Hampshire. And the people of New Hampshire rose up and they made the right decision. And don't mass up New Hampshire means don't Maura Healey up New Hampshire. It means don't bring her terrible policies to New Hampshire. And if anybody that's moving to New Hampshire, don't bring your Democrat policies with you. Leave that shit at the fucking door. Leave that shit at the fucking front door is what people are saying. Because if you look at the differences between it, why is it that New Hampshire has a surplus? Why is it that they balanced 4 budgets in a row with Chris Sununu when he was in office? And I've had my disagreements with him on some issues, but I'll say he was a billion times better than anything Maura Healey has ever done. I'll tell you that right now. And if you're all about criticizing both sides or whatever, you better criticize Maura Healey you better criticize her just as much. Because if you think Maura Healey's good or she's some kind of, then you know what? I'll ship her off to your state and you can have her. You can have her. You can have her. Because guess what? She'll bankrupt your fucking state just like she's done here. It explains why we have a $375 million revenue shortfall and we have a structural deficit. Maura Healey has increased spending by 7.4% in her 2 years in office. Out of control spending, out of control deficits, terrible sanctuary state policies by using immigrants for political brownie points, which is absolutely outrageous and disgusting, which is exactly, she's basically smuggling them in is what she's doing and wasting our money. Maura Healey has wasted $1 billion of Massachusetts taxpayer money. My money, everybody from this state and everybody who works in this state, wasting our money on that. On those terrible sanctuary state policies. You've got the audit question, violating the oath of office by violating that oath. We voted on question 1 to audit the legislative body. That's what we voted on, right? That's what we voted on in Massachusetts. But the legislative body, including Maura Healey's corrupt Attorney General, Andrea Campbell, who should be in fucking prison, is blocking that, and she doesn't know a fucking thing about law. Kelly Ayotte's talking. The adult is talking. All you fucking clowns, all you children need to sit down, because guess what? The adult is talking. Because you see the terrible policy, and not to mention out of control taxes, tax increases, and empty promises and broken promises. That's Maura Healey's record. That is Maura Healey's record. That is her record. Record high local taxes on meals and hotels and motor vehicles. And her policies have crushed our economy. We've lost 3,211 small businesses, an additional 5,000 job losses in just a single year. Imagine that. Imagine the stunting of our economic growth, wasting $1 billion on sanctuary state policies, and our tax climate now ranks 43rd out of 50 states. And we are the 3rd most expensive state to do business in. We have surging energy costs because of terrible windmill policies that Maura Healey's bringing into the state. Now, I am all about green. I support the Green Party, but that's actually my philosophy in many different ways. But we have to do this in a balanced way. Maura Healey has not done this in a balanced way. So all of those things, the failure that Maura Healey brought to Massachusetts is exactly why Kelly Ayotte won in New Hampshire. Whether you like it or not, whether you like my message, or whether you think whatever you think about my position, this is just a fact. Okay, because I don't talk about the biases. I'm not trying to go over to this side of the of whatever. No, I'm talking about the facts. And sometimes, and talking about the facts isn't always what's popular, but I don't care. Talking about the policies and talking about what's really going on is exactly what is going on. This is what's going on. That's why Kelly won, and Kelly deserved to win. Because maybe, just maybe someday, Massachusetts will be in a position where we can get better leadership again. Maybe we will have a governor. Maybe we will have a governor that I can actually look at and be proud of. We had that with the previous guy in office. For all of the disagreements I've ever had with Charlie Baker on any of the issues, he was so much better than Maura Healey by every single stretch of the measure. Every single stretch of the measure. We were better off economically and everything. We had a surplus in his last year in office, and that was during a pandemic. And I didn't even agree with a lot of things Baker did on the pandemic and so on. But I'll tell you right now, we would not be in the fiscal mess that we were in if we got Maura Healey in office, because you need somebody that is of a different party. And I believe in a multi-party system. We shouldn't have this two-party system or anything like that. But you know what? We got to have another leader that balances this one-party monopoly here in Massachusetts, because it's not working. It is simply not working. There is simply nothing here. There's nothing here that's working. Maura Healey's shaking. Maura Healey is fucking terrified. I'm sure she is. She has two options. She can either continue to run on the record of failure that she's doing, or start being a fucking leader for people in Massachusetts. Why don't you start being a fucking leader for once? Oh, that's right. She won't, because she's a failure, and her record of failure is what's crushing our economy. And that's why the rest of the states in the country and in our region are doing a lot better. And we are going in the same bad economic policies, like we are going down the same path as New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, and all those places where it gets really, really ugly in terms of like limiting economic freedom and everything. It's where there's just high taxes and runaway deficits and all this red tape and everything. And you know what? That prevents job growth. Do you understand that prevents job growth? All this red tape that's here in Massachusetts, with Maura Healey in office, and she's the one that brought all these negative policies to our state that is negatively affecting our economy in every way, shape, and form. That's the reason why Kelly won. So, with all that being said, why is it that I sit here and I talk about this stuff? Why do I sit here and talk about this stuff? Why do I give her credit on this type of stuff? Because she's right. And I'm not offended by anything she said about what she said about Massachusetts. The only thing she said, the only thing that she's ever talked about was Maura Healey's record of failure, which she was 100% right on. And that's what her opponent wanted to bring. And that's exactly the problem, because New Hampshire has less of a tax burden, is more friendly to job growth, and has all sorts of other different better things. It has the lowest poverty rate. It is the best when it comes to getting tax money back. It is all of the statistics, and you look at the statistics and you will see it is the stark opposite of where all of the Massachusetts' favorable rankings from the past have declined dramatically since Maura Healey took office. And actually, this is what George Craig said about Massachusetts. This is what she said in particular. Take a look.
I know you heard me talk a lot on the campaign trail about Massachusetts. And the reason I did is because it's a cautionary tale. Mm-hmm. Look at the out-of-control spending, tax hikes, illegal immigrant crisis, people and businesses leaving in droves. Mm-hmm. But what's normal today in Massachusetts, it wasn't always that way.
Yeah, it wasn't always that way. The guy we had in office before, it wasn't like that before. When we had Bill Weld in office in the 1990s, in the early 1990s, then when we had Paul Cellucci in office, and when we had them in office, the economy was booming, just like when Baker was in office. The economy was booming. And I really do not like Mitt Romney when it comes to foreign policy. I think Mitt Romney's a neocon on many different areas, but I'll tell you right now, even when he was in office, he was better than what we've got right now. Do you know how pathetic that is? Even Mitt Romney can run an economy better than Maura Healey can. Because Maura Healey could not budget anything if her life depended on it. Every single thing Kelly has said now and before is 100% accurate. That is what we are suffering here in Massachusetts. And notice how all of the support that she has given to the people of New Hampshire, we don't have that here in Massachusetts. We don't have the support from our leaders. We don't have leadership here. What we have is we have a circus. We have a circus. We have a one-party monopoly that is not transparent and is blocking the will of the voters. It's not respecting the will of the voters. When 72% of us, including me, we voted. We simply voted for an audit of the legislative body. And they are blocking that because that just shows a lack of transparency and a lack of checks and balances. They're looking for, because people here in this state, we are looking for something different, something more transparent, something better, something that New Hampshire had. New Hampshire is a model for not just the region, but people around the country to follow. And I'm going to say it because that's how it is, man. I'm going to say it because that's how it is. And people are looking for balance. That's why they voted for that. And that's why this is the problem I hear everywhere I go. Like I said, it's not only here on the North Shore or in Western Mass. It's in the Metro West. It's in Central Mass. It's in Southern Mass. It's in Northern Mass. It's in North Central Mass. People feel a huge disconnect in this state. And they don't like the direction the state is heading in. I don't like the direction that the state is heading in. This state is off track and it's in the wrong direction. And this state is an embarrassment right now. Under Maura Healey has embarrassed our state to the face of New Hampshire and to the face of all the other states in the region and around the country that are improving, doing better, that they're having lower tax burdens and everything. You see that, and this is just a fact, and that's why Kelly won.
Year after year, their model of higher taxes and more government has made it harder for small businesses to make and families to make ends meet. On the other hand, over that same period, New Hampshire has gotten stronger.
Yep, in stark contrast to the failure that Maura Healey brought, New Hampshire did just the complete opposite. Chris Sununu's 4 two-year terms in office, he balanced budgets with no new taxes. And not only that, and New Hampshire says we have great local control and voting in our town halls. And it's like, and they can control where the tax dollars go. So not only that, they have better checks and balances on the way things go. That's what we should have done in this state rather than wasting $1 billion fucking dollars.
Only because of our leadership, our policies, and our commitment to taxpayers. To the people of Massachusetts, our Bay State neighbors.
Which is me, one of us, but yes. Which, by the way, Kelly, I salute you.
I want you to know we love that you visit our communities, shop at our businesses, enjoy our great outdoors. To the businesses of Massachusetts, we'd love to have you bring your talents to the Granite State.
Because I love going to New Hampshire. Like I said, when I went to Lake Winnipesaukee on that in that episode that I did, one of my live streams that I ended up doing, I didn't want to go back, man. I'd be like, when the Maura Healey nightmare is over, maybe I can go back, but I don't know. I want to take up. Well, like I said, I got a job here, I got family, but I'm here in this state and I'm gonna fight, and that's how I'm gonna do it. Because that's how we need to do things. I mean, we fought the taxes. We fought the taxes when we were dumping tea in the harbor. Okay, the Boston Tea Party. Where do you think that came from? That's our legacy. And look at the legacy we have now. Look at the policies that we have now of higher taxes, higher spending, and terrible policies, and they're wasting our money. Where all of that money could go to end homelessness and bring more affordable housing into this state. Could fix the MBTA, could end up fixing our healthcare system, could end up revamping our education system, could be doing all of the things. And Massachusetts is a beacon in all of those things. And yet all of that is being tarnished by Maura Healey's record of failure. That's what we've got right now, unfortunately. And like I said, I'll keep saying it. Like, remember, like I said before, man, my fans on this channel are very, very, they are very, they're aware. They're aware of how this thing went. Remember, when Maura Healey first took office, right, I was neutral on her. I was just like, okay, whatever. And you know what? I used to not like what Kelly used to say, because I used to think, why is she focused so much on Massachusetts? But then when I saw Maura Healey piss off Chris Sununu with her trying to insert Florida into the occasion and trying to say, New Hampshire, you got to vote Democrat or else you're going to end up like Florida and their abortion, blah, 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 blah. And then Chris Sununu fired back, and then she was saying, and she was bragging about, oh, she did this with taxes and how great everything is now. And let's not forget the border toll scandal that Maura Healey's secretary, that Maura Healey should have fired on day one, but she didn't. And that's how much of a joke that she is. How about the border toll that she tried to propose on New Hampshire's border? What about that one? What about the fact that there are more Democrats in Massachusetts in our circus of Beacon Hill? That's what Beacon Hill is now. It's a circus. No transparency, wasting our money, no checks and balances. That's what it's all become. So where's the money going? Now they want more. They want more tolls. They want tolls on other roads. Okay, well, we'll just go avoid those. What is this, a joke? It's just like, what is this, a joke? I'm supposed to sit here and think that, oh, everything is just, just great and everything, and I'm just supposed to sit here and act like it's great. No, it's not. And like I said, if you support Maura Healey, you think she's great, then I'll send her to your state. How's that sound? You want her? You can take her. And then she can waste $1 billion of yours she can waste $1 billion of yours as well. How about that? How's that sound? She's using immigrants to her advantage, and it's disgusting. Using immigrants that are actually escaping for legitimate reasons, and that's what Maura Healey's doing, wasting $1 billion of our. And remember, let's not forget, when there was a sex crime that took place in one of these shelters, one of these immigration shelters that Maura Healey opened up by wasting our money, and there was a tragic crime that happened against a 15-year-old disabled girl, and Kelly Ayotte ripped Maura Healey to shreds, saying that she should be ashamed of herself for what she did. Yeah, she is. Maura Healey is a disgusting human being. She is a fucking failure. Maura Healey is the biggest failure that we've ever had in history. That's what she is. And I'm supposed to sit here and act like this is all normal, that this is supposed to be good. No, Maura Healey is the worst, biggest embarrassment that we have ever had in history. And her tax policies and her other terrible economic policies are the worst that we have ever seen in recent memory. Are the worst that we have seen, some of which are some of the worst in history. Because I'm not going to sit back and take it, because I love the state, I care about the state, and I want the state to be better. If I didn't love the state, I just want Maura Healey to be governor. I care about this state, and I'm very concerned about this stuff. That's why I come out here and I do this. I do this for a reason. I do this to talk about this because I want the state to be a better place. Because I want this state to be a better place for all. I want this state to be a better place because guess what? When Massachusetts thrives, then the whole region can thrive. And then we can have good relations with all our neighbors. And then the whole part of New England thrives. All of New England. We're supposed to be like a big neighborhood and everything. But Maura Healey is ruining that. Maura Healey is ruining that in this state that has so much potential, that I have been born and raised in my whole entire life. My family working hard. Everybody here. I have family. I have friends. I have a job. And I'm proud of the life. I'm happy with the life that I have. I do. In spite of these terrible policies, but I'm going to stay here and I'm going to fight, and that's what we need to do. We need to stay here and fight, and I'm going to continue to do it. This video is about Kelly, and I'm here to say that New Hampshire made the right decision. They made the right decision. And I just wish that we could get that here. I wish we could get something better here. I want anything. Anything is better than Maura Healey. I'm going to vote. I don't care. Well, whatever person is running against her, I'm voting against Maura Healey. My vote in 2026 will be my vote against Maura Healey. Because I hate what she has done to this state. The corruption, the conniving, the blocking of the audit. Because it's obvious that they're scared of what's in the budget. They're scared of what's in the budget. Because Maura Healey can't balance a budget. She's a failure. She's incompetent. Maura Healey is fucking incompetent. And she cannot balance a budget if her life depended on it. Because that's what she's done. Because she can't balance a budget. And they're all afraid of what's in there. I say lock her ass up. Lock her up and lock Andrea Campbell up. Lock that entire, vote them all out. Vote them all out. Because I swear to God, Maura Healey makes me embarrassed to be from Massachusetts. Like I'm fucking dead serious. And I've never felt that way. Deval Patrick did horrible things to our state, jacked our taxes up higher than almost anyone in North America at one point. We had one of the highest tax rates in North America. But you see the terrible policies that Maura Healey has brought. Some way, somehow, her conniving, corrupt scandals, or some way, somehow, are just even worse than Deval Patrick ever did. Some way, somehow, yeah, she's brought even more terrible policies to us than Deval Patrick ever did in his 8-year record of failure. Now we've got Maura Healey's record of failure that is corroding and eroding every good thing about Massachusetts and eroding our good name. Remember we shedded remember when Dukakis was governor in the 1980s and we had other Democrats in the years prior and we were considered Taxachusetts? We're Taxachusetts all over again, man. Just like we are with that 4% surtax on high earners that drove a big chunk of wealth out of the state and all that, and then you got 3,200, and well, Maura Healey killed 3,200 businesses. It is the fact of that. It is the fact that over the past 2 years, we've lost 14,000 jobs. That's what's happened. We've lost 14,000 jobs in this state since Maura Healey took office. You just can't make it up. You can't just look at, Maura Healey can't just look at the past 2 years that she's been in office and just act like the past 2 years didn't happen. Other states in the region are recovering, and we're not. We're 43rd out of 50 states for tax climate. And we're the third most expensive state to do business in. The energy costs, the high energy costs, are also detrimental to job growth and to businesses that want to come here and investment people that want to come here. It makes it harder for people to want to come in here and start a business and start growing jobs and all that other stuff. That makes it harder for people to invest. And then that's harder for people to get jobs. That actually stunts job growth. That's negatively affecting the economy. How is this progressive? How am I supposed to defend any of this and act like it's progressive? It's not. None of it is progressive. Nothing's good about it. There's nothing good about this record. There's nothing progressive, socialist, good, or socially acceptable about or equitable about any of these records. That's why I say phase out the income tax and go to having a consumption-based sales tax. Look, New Hampshire is about no sales tax, no income tax. I respect that. And look, they have a good model for themselves, and that's why they're thriving. That's why they're flourishing. That's why they're booming. And they're going to continue to boom. I have confidence. I think Kelly Ayotte's going to be a great leader. I think she's going to do a really good job. I really do. I think she's already signed bills, including on government transparency. In stark contrast, she actually, what's the name of it again? She actually provided something called, there was like a little, there's like another little thing that she has here. There's a little name for it that she has here. It's something that she did. It was one of her executives. It was one of the executive orders that she did. Oh, it's called creating the Commission on Government Efficiency. That's what she has. It's called doing that. CODGE. Sign the executive order to create the Commission on Government Efficiency, or as I should say, CODGE. All of my other fellow socialists, we should all be in agreement with that. We should have a government that's efficient. Unfortunately, here in Massachusetts, with Maura Healey's record of failure, we don't have that. We don't have this transparency or efficiency. There's no checks and balances. It's all one-party Democrat rule where there's no competition, no checks and balances, and it's all scandal and rules and regulations, and they can just do anything they want with our tax dollars. There's no auditing and no rules and regulations, and they're violating the audit. That's why they all should be impeached and thrown out of office, and we should hit them with federal corruption charges. Every single one of them need to be thrown out of office, no pay, and barred from ever being in any political office again. That's what should happen. So Kelly Ayotte's first day in office, she signs an executive order on government efficiency. So what does that tell you? It tells you who's the better leader here. It really tells you, man, it tells you who's better. And the legislation that I want to do, all of the things that we have here, the motor vehicle excise tax, gas tax, income tax, this surtax, all the meals tax, all these regressive taxes that are just stunting economic growth in the state and are holding our state back. This is why we have a projected shortfall in revenue. Maura Healey has done this to our state. Her record of failure is doing that to this state. That's why we've lost 14,000 jobs and over 50,000 people have left. That's why 3,200 businesses, 3,211 businesses have left this state. Primarily because of that 4% surtax, which, no, we need to completely reverse every negative policy that Maura Healey has ever done. We need to get a lot of things done, but first of all, we need to cut spending. This administration has increased spending by 7.4%, up 7.4% from 2 years before. We should cut that spending without the legislative body. We should do it with an executive order. Take an executive order and cut spending. Trim spending until the deficit disappears. And then after that, when you eliminate the deficit, then we can do all the other good things, which is what we need to do. And by the way, if you eliminate that deficit, then we can spend money on good things and not run into a deficit. Does that make sense? That's basic economics. If that's what we need to do, is we got to cut spending, because Maura Healey has increased spending by 7.4% at a rate higher than 34 other states. Only 16 other states in the country raised spending as much as she did. And that's what we need to do. And then we got to get middle class tax cuts out the door. We need real tax relief. We need to cut. We should phase out the income tax and go to having a consumption-based sales tax. I know that that's a different model than what New Hampshire has. New Hampshire has no sales, no income. Oh, I completely understand that. Their model is great. I support that. They have no excise tax either, so that's a good thing. They got rid of their business they got rid of a business and something tax. It was some type of business tax that they got rid of. Like for me personally, look, this is me personally. The sales tax makes more sense because the income tax is the one that's not fair. Because why should I have to pay the politician's salary? Oh, did I also mention Maura Healey increased her salary? Yeah, let that one sink in, and for her fellow fucking goons. So what does that tell you? So you got that. And then we just need something way better than what we've got. We've got so much better than we are now. So what they repealed is they repealed the interest and dividends tax. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Yeah, that's what they got rid of. They got rid of that. That expired here this year, and that's what they did. I wish it expired here. I wish all of these negative taxes that we have would just go away. Like we need to roll them back. We need to roll back as many of Maura Healey's terrible tax policies and economic policies as possible. That's what we need to do. And we need to work with them on the tax relief, like real tax relief for middle and working, low and middle income people like myself. They've got to go along with that. That's what they need to do. They absolutely need to do that. So the interest and dividends tax is the one recent that New Hampshire got rid of. And that's what Massachusetts needs to do. They need to follow on a different path than that. And like I said, New Hampshire doesn't have a sales tax, and in the mix, I support their measure and everything. What I think about the thing that I want to hit head on is the income tax. Because why should we have to pay the politicians and pay and have income taken out of our checks? What we should do is we should go to having a tax on luxurious goods and a consumption-based sales tax. So that way you can control your own tax dollars and what you buy in the store. Like what you buy in the store, what you purchase in a store, what you purchase anywhere for that matter. You should be able to have your say on what you buy. Because at least the sales tax is the same for everything. Like if you buy something and the sales tax is 5%, it's the same for everything. This graduated income tax is unfair, it's uncompetitive, and it makes our state uncompetitive, and it's not a good thing. That's why we need to get rid of that, roll back that 4% surtax on high earners. That's also a negative impact on our state. We should roll that back, and we should phase the income tax out entirely, but at the very least, get it back to where it was before. Get it back to 5% like it was before. Roll it back to where it was before. Maura Healey killed our economy, before she took office and killed our economy. Roll that back, and then roll all the other ones. I take the $25 for every $1,000 of motor vehicle, cut that down to $10. Cut the motor vehicle excise tax down to $10 for every $1,000 of the vehicle. And then we should work and phase out all the other ones that are just negative effects on the economy and so on and so forth. So anyone who wants to say that's like right wing or something like that, no, it's not true. That's not true. This is not even about a party. This is my personal opinion. This is what we should do, and this is how we should grow our economy. That's what we should do. That's what Massachusetts should do. And we should also roll the corporate income tax back to 7%. We should roll it back to 7%. It's 8% in Massachusetts, but we should roll it back to 7% to match New Hampshire and our neighboring states. I believe we should also do that. And I just think getting rid of the income tax makes sense because like I said, because you should control the growth of your own money. What you work for and what you get back, what you get, like what you take home pay. Your take home pay should remain the same. And the sales tax should just be what it is. And then you control what you buy in the store. Your tax dollars go to what you buy in the store. And then you can make a determination on what to buy and what not to buy. That's why it's much more fair than an income tax. And I think if we have a much more fair tax system, it would make more sense. And we should have the taxes on the Amazons and the McDonald's and the big box stores of the world. That of course makes all the sense in the world. Of course, like for those like with the mega mansions, as I've always said, a property transfer tax that kicks in for luxury homes over $2 million or something like that, or like that was actually Andrew Weaver's position in the British Columbia provincial debate, or the gubernator, or not the gubernator, the premier debate in British Columbia. Andrew Weaver, who is a part of the Greens in British Columbia, Canada, he said about that the property transfer tax would put a clamp and a pressure down on the housing market, and it would be a good way to get revenue. And higher taxes only kick in for those with the mega mansions. But the 4% but the 4% surtax in Massachusetts should be scrapped altogether, because that negatively impacts people at the lower end of the income scale the most. And because that hits anybody who makes $1 million. Anyone can make $1 million. $1 million is not a lot of money in this fucking economy. I mean, small businesses and jobs and everything can make that money. A retiree selling their house could easily hit that, even though they're not anything close to being a millionaire. That's why it's so unfair, and that's why it's a negative impact and a burden on our state. And that's what I want to focus on. My focus is on focusing all the negative policies that Maura Healey has brought to our state, and we should focus on all of those. On all of those. All of the local taxes that Maura Healey wants is hurting people at the lower end of the income scale. They are a bit the worst. And that's what I want to focus on with Massachusetts, and make Massachusetts tax friendly and business friendly and job friendly and equitable for everybody. Where people can retire, where senior citizens can retire, young people like myself can get a career, where families with children, where families and those with children can work to raise a family, and where you can afford to retire. And that's what we should do in Massachusetts. That's what we should do to make Massachusetts a better Massachusetts for all Bay Staters, including myself. And that's what we should focus on, because the Bay State, I love this state. This state is home to me, but the state is off track and it's not in the right direction. It's in a very bad direction with Maura Healey in office, and we need to turn that around. And that's why Kelly won, and I congratulate Kelly on her win. I think she won, and she ran a really competitive race, but she did really well. Congratulations to her, and I'll be keeping more tabs on that. And I'm proud of that. I think she did a good race, and congratulations to New Hampshire. In Massachusetts, we got to change course. In this state, we got to change course, and that's what we have to do. And get rid of this higher taxes and higher spending and runaway deficits, because nothing about it is good. We need to roll it back and make things better from what they were before. And that's the only way that we're going to get things done. We got to get things done. Will we get rid of Maura Healey and elect something different next year, 2026? That's the only way. And if we do that, we can send a loud and clear message to the politicians on Beacon Hill. And we can truly, with the right leadership, we can truly change Massachusetts for the better. One can only hope. And I certainly hope we roll back the tax burden, grow jobs, make our state more competitive, and also more, obviously more energy friendly, lower energy costs, drive down energy costs, lower child care costs. make all that type of stuff and do good things and find the right balance somewhere. And just find the right balance somewhere. That way jobs and investment can come in here and then do things for our state. But we need to do that. We need to do that by getting rid of Maura Healey, rolling all of her terrible policies, including her negative tax policies, and roll all that stuff back and roll all that back and elect something different. And that's what we need to do in 2026, next year. And join here. And we need to do that so we can get it done. And if we do it with the right leadership, we can get things done. So let's do that. So anyway, thank you all for watching this episode. Like I said, another one of those weeks. It went way longer than I intended. But thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this segment. Hope you all learned something. Like I said, this segment isn't the most popular on this channel, but I don't care. I do not care. This is not a popularity pissing contest. I'm not here to be, well, even telling the truth might not always be popular, but I'm going to do that whether it's popular or not. It's as simple as that. So anyways, thank you all for watching. Have yourselves a good one. Have yourselves a good weekend as well. Thank you all for watching. Enjoyed this episode, and I will be back on Monday with my next live stream, so look out for that. I'll definitely have more things to say then. Keep up with this channel. Look up with the like, subscribe, share this with whoever you'd like. If you're from New Hampshire or you're from Massachusetts or you're just from anywhere in the country, share this with your friends, your family, anything like that. Hit the subscribe button and hit that bell notification. And I'll see you comrades in the next one. Have yourselves a good one and a good weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, stay safe, stay well, stay classy, keep fighting, and keep on rocking. Congratulations to New Hampshire and to their new governor, Kelly Ayotte. Congratulations. Congratulations to my Granite State friends. Congratulations. Hopefully Massachusetts can move in a better direction. Hopefully in the near future. See you all next time. Good night. Peace out. Have yourselves a good one and a good weekend. And I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, bye for now. So long.